A little bit delayed, but we are here on the Art of Inspired live stream to talk today with my guest, Chala Dincoy. And what she's going to do is she's going to talk to us a little bit about understanding your messaging. And I need to silence my phone here as we get into this. We're going to talk about a little bit of a worksheet so that you know how to position yourself, the two most important things that she's going to talk and how she works with her clients. And please, as always, post your comments, post any questions that you have in the live stream, and we'll make sure to answer them. And we'll get back to you. If there's anything we can't answer, I'm sure that we'll drop that information down in the comments of the show. So let me get started by welcoming my guest, Chala. And Chala, don't let me forget, I need to find out what your nationality is and where that beautiful name comes from. But I'm going to read her biography. She's the CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert, which is a division of Coachtactics. I'm going to pull this over, guys. I got to look at you here. She helps professional service companies change their messaging to attract more decision makers. In her former life, Chala was an award-winning marketer at companies such as Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, Diageo, I'm in San Diego, Diageo, Playtex, and Bic Inc. for 20 years. Now she's a marketing consultant, the author of Gentle Marketing, A Gentle Way to Attract Loads of Clients, and How to Win Friends the Way Apple Wins Customers. In addition, Chala is a regularly featured expert on major television networks such as ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, as well as a popular speaker at international conferences. So I met Chala through some Facebook groups that we're both a member of. I've been honored to be in one of her challenges, and I'm going to bring her on today to polish out that information that I maybe left out a little bit. So, Hi, welcome. Let's make sure that we can get into the chat here. Okay. Somebody says I'm late. Well, guess what? So are we.
Okay, we are. We really are.
That's okay. Yes, so we're here, we're ready. Chala, thank you so much for being flexible with me to make this work out for both of us. I want to deliver your valuable information out to the audience, so thank you for being here and being a gracious guest on the Art of Inspired Selling. So, as all guests, I like to find out, how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
Oh, it's coming on to 8 years.
Okay. So in those 8 years, you've had some ups and some downs and some backward somersaults, I'm sure, as we all do as entrepreneurs. What inspires you? What inspires you to get up, get the job done, get on the, I like to say that hamster wheel of life that makes, you make life happen for you and not to you. Tell me a little bit about that. Is that a person, a book, a quote, your son? Tell me what drives you.
I've got so many things, but honestly, when it comes down to it, and I've been in the fetal position, in a dark basement crying kind of thing, about twice during those 8 years. And I came close during COVID to being in one of those positions. And I wish I knew what really did drive me, but it's always like, who are you? Who are you going to be in this situation? And one of them was when I was in TV, training to go on TV, and our coach was like one of these, beat up the athlete kind of coaches. So he was like beating us all up, and I was like in the fetal position. And at the time, my husband said, just come home. Like he said, just come home. I was literally, and that was the moment where I said to myself, like, am I the kind of person that goes home? And, and then that's what stopped me. Like there was nothing to stop me. And that's when I stepped up, and the same thing happened during COVID. I used to speak at all the conferences. That was my funnel. And I had to do like your expertise, which is the social selling piece. And I've had such tremendous growth during 2020, Catherine. I don't know what your life's been like, but it's like night and day. And so, yeah, I don't know what keeps me going. I wish I did, but it's just that I can't. I'm too proud to give up or something.
Well, it sounds like it's a self-driven, something that, that's a quality that entrepreneurs must have. Mm-hmm. They have to have this self-driven quality of, there's something bigger in this world that I'm supposed to do. it's, I can have my down day. It's somebody out there is depending on me. I have a gift. I have something to deliver, and I'm going to deliver it. And they just have no idea what's coming. So,
Uh-huh.
that's just something that self-driven, maybe A-type personalities tend to have as well.
Apparently, I wish I knew. Some days it drives me nuts. I just want
Right? We bottle it, sell it.
Yeah,
It was a potion.
I know.
Yes.
I wish for sure.
For sure. Well, welcome to the live stream.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, what we do here is we deliver value to the audience. I interview subject matter experts. My audience are B2B entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that are, at that level. Maybe they're at 200, 250,000. They're getting ready to bust through the roof. They need some tips. They need small bite-sized things that they can that they can implement in their business daily to make things happen. And, they could potentially be a marketing person. They could be a tech person that doesn't have the selling skills. So I believe your subject matter expertise and the things that you have are really relevant today, especially now that we really have to make that impact on video, right? Because that's the world we're living in today.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I read your bio. Anything that I left out in that about maybe a small backstory or what you're doing today to have such a successful 2020, and then we'll get into delivering that value that you're going to deliver to the audience.
So 2020 is a year, like a work in progress. Like, I don't want you to think that it's all rosy, but I've definitely found the way. I really feel so much better than the first half of COVID, where I was really in that fetal position, but now I feel reborn, and I know where the money's coming from, and it's already started to come in. But the backstory is I was a corporate girl for 18 years. I spent 18 years saying no to suppliers because I worked for sexy brands like Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Diageo, which, by the way, is the owner of Smirnoff, Bailey's, Tanqueray.
I should know that. But you know what? Uncle Tito is my favorite right now. I don't know who owns that brand, but
no, we didn't own that one. But so, I mean, did you ever work in the corporate world, Catherine?
Oh yes,
Right.
for sure, for 30 years.
Oh, so you did too. Okay, so I mean, if we've talked about this, that it's like most of the time, if you're in any purchasing role, first of all, your hands are tied because of all these rules around purchasing. And when you're at Pepsi and you work in marketing, that your hands are even more tied because everybody wants you, and like everybody wants to work for you. They're pitching you nonstop. So when I looked at the people that I did end up hiring and that did get in through the door, there were very specific things that they had and that they did and said that I now teach to clients to help them get into the, big companies. So that's what I do now is I fix what people are saying to get into other businesses, because the corporate buyers right now during COVID, all sorts of research is telling us they're buying online. They're online and they're buying online. So almost the middleman, which is a sales rep, is gone.
Yes.
It's gone. Unfortunately, that role is like gone.
Yes.
So they need to figure out, if they haven't figured out what I figured out during COVID, which is how to sell online and how to break through with your messaging online in a very quick and concise way, like what you're saying, they're going to be in a world of trouble.
And so I came from the healthcare industry, and most of the healthcare sales representatives that, companies can have 80, 100, 2,000 sales reps. They're grounded right now.
Oh, yeah.
So they are struggling. They're wondering, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Like, what they know how to do overnight disappeared.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
They can't show up. They're not being seen. And it's not just, the medical industry is billions, right? So that's a lot of reps that are displaced and they don't quite know what to do. Yeah. So it's companies that are employing social selling, and they're employing something that's an outbound or inbound lead generating strategy. Those are the people, if they nailed it, that are going to maintain that income during this period of time.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important. What I'm finding is people are spending more money on marketing than any other operational issue, because they need to stand out more with what they're doing now than they ever did before, because it's a smaller spend pool. So they have to get it right. And it's like a make or break right now for people because it's not going to get better in the next month or two.
Right.
It's going to take a while for it to get back to the rosy because so many people that you talk to, their businesses were like mine. I had a record year last year. I never once had to do any lead gen, nothing. I didn't even pick up the phone once. I would just close the people that came and, had a record year. So that world is going to be a while to come back. But I think if I never have to get on a plane, hey.
I know.
And
right? As moms as well, there's so much I've missed in my kids' lives from being a road warrior and traveling. And I mean, not to interrupt you, but I just did a corporate piece with a company, and I was talking to the trainer, and the sales trainers were spending their time in the field, right? So they'd travel to work with a rep. They'd maybe see 2 people during the day if they were well-planned appointments. And then the next day, maybe 2 people. And so how much money did that cost and how many days of traveling and how efficient was that? Where now, through this new world, they can be so much more efficient. They don't have to get on airplanes as much. They can train 10 reps in a day, or 8 reps in a day and not 2 or 1. So yeah, life is going to change for people. It's really interesting.
Absolutely. And I love it. I think this was the right thing for me going forward because I was so tired of traveling, but it pushed me, right? I was like resisting it, but it pushed me because comfort, right? I was comfortable in the familiar.
Yes. But still, we're going to want to see your beautiful face on a stage as soon as possible.
Thank you. Yeah. When people are gathering, I don't know, are they gathering? Are they doing that?
Some that are starting to. I know that there was in San Diego. I'm in this mastermind group. They got together at the end of June. They're getting together again at the end of October. So there's some small things that are happening.
Yeah, but like the kind of conferences that I would go to, Catherine, it would be like thousands of people. So I'd be speaking at those breakout rooms, and if you have 5,000 people at it's like. It's insane, the number. And so I can't even imagine 5,000 people gathering.
And would we want to be there?
Yeah, that's the other question.
Right.
I think there was a tech conference somewhere, was it in Las Vegas, that in February that they traced a whole bunch of, COVID cases that they then traveled from every country because it was such a huge tech conference. And so that's what I was reading about. And it's just kind of scary, but let's talk about good things.
Let's talk about what we can do and what we can control. Okay. Absolutely. So tell me what you're going to teach today to the audience so that they can be able to have perfect on point messaging and turn those leads into, or actually just the casual people they're meeting into actual leads and customers.
Right. So what I'm going to teach you is a growth strategy. Okay. So it's a growth strategy called super niching. So you can use this growth strategy if you want to repivot what you're already doing because it's not working, or what you're already doing is working but not well enough, so you can grow like an extra arm to sell more. So that's what a super niche is for. And what it is finding your super niche is finding a very specific industry target and marrying that with being a specialist in a very specific pain point that they have. So typically when you niche, you are an expert in one area of either an industry or a topic. What I'm suggesting is that you do both so that you get really small and focused as an additional revenue. And I'll give you some examples. For example, one of my clients said, I don't know, like you came to the training, but I don't remember if you stayed long enough to see some of the testimonials.
Okay, I didn't at the end.
Okay, so it was, I think this was the 5th day. So Jill Williams, she owns an IT support company. So IT companies are like a dime a dozen.
Yes.
When you meet one, your eyes probably roll to the back of your head, like especially at these procurement conferences that I go to, there's so many of them. And
it's interesting that you brought that topic up because I've had conversations with IT people and that service or support or networking, hardware, software, whatever they're doing. And I say to them, so who's your target market? Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone with a brick and mortar store? Okay, I'm like, okay, slow down a little bit. Anyone? Like, who's your main client? Oh, okay, I have some restaurants. Okay, we're getting better, right? So yeah, in that IT service industry, I hear that. Who can
Yeah,
you serve? Anyone with a store? Anyone with a store that's not a big chain?
Yeah, I mean, so that was one. So this was a B2B one that, anyway, it was, they were trying to grow, and they were about, I think she was saying 4 to 5 million. And so they wanted to grow because they had lost some clients. So what we did is we super niched them into helping call centers for healthcare, for like hospitals, reduce the wait time. And we sub-branded the super niche, and we called it On Hold Rescue. And they even had cute little logos with the, operator with a, the cross sign of the medical cross sign on it. So it was called On Hold Rescue because apparently statistically there's a lot of people who get sicker because they can't get through because they're kept on hold too long. And what the IT company does is it makes solutions like, I don't know, programming, whatever they do, magic, they produce something to reduce the wait time because they're helping schedule it better, schedule the people better, do the whole workflow better. So so Jill, the CEO, she was telling me, and it's actually in my social media now because we taped it, we recorded her live. She made $805,000 in 2 months after figuring that out. And it took us 2 months to figure that out. And within that 2 months, she was able to go and cross-sell it to an existing client because it's a super niche. So remember what I was telling you, that a super niche helps you get more money from existing clients? Well, that's exactly what they did.
That's awesome.
And so
was that 805 incremental dollars?
Yeah, incremental, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea. It's just incremental. But the rest of our business was still going, right? Let me tell you about a situation where it completely changed, like the whole pivot, right? So a generic marketing strategy agency, we super niche them into helping food manufacturing companies. You know, the cookie lady, the soup, guy, they make their little organic foods, but they can never get into distribution. Like they can't get into grocery stores. Whole Foods has enough and they don't want. So what we super niched this company into was to help get them listed and to stay listed. Because the thing about, if you know the food, like the grocery business, you can get listed and pay your brains out for the listing fees, but then they delist you if it doesn't move fast enough. Because that room, especially like places like Walmart, they have it down to a cent. How much
a place on the shelf, huh?
Exactly. So that's what the company name became, the fooddistributionguy.com, and he went from 0 to I think 7 new contracts in the first year. Multiple 5-figure contracts, and to this day he's still like the number one search, even though he does 0 SEO, because the food distribution was the search words for that industry. So you can see how a super niche gets you in front of a very specific audience, and you talk about their very specific pain point. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So the whole idea is that the way we get to that, and I'm sure you saw this on the first night that we did the elevator pitch boot camp, is first we have to get you to look at a whole list of industries and interest groups that you're going to target, and you score them according to whether it's a good fit for you, your skill set, background, and then the ability, whether they can pay your fees that you want, and the access to check signers. Like, do you have check signers of that industry in your natural networks, or can you get in front of them because they are around enough in events? So then, we get clients to score them. And in the exercise now, I want to invite at the end, we regularly have these boot camps. So the next one is coming up on the 21st of September, and I'll give you the link to sign up for that later. But we have the homework for that first night is around figuring out this industry niche, that very specific niche.
Maybe I should have pulled out my, I know I have sheet somewhere. But yes, keep talking. I'll look for my work.
Okay, it looks like this. Ta-da! There's a
Yes, your face. Yep.
And so for those of you who don't have it, you'll get it, if you sign up for the bootcamp, and it'll make more sense to you. But basically, we're trying to score the industry. And do you remember, if you did that homework, like what did it score for you? Like what was the highest scoring industry? Do you remember?
No, I didn't. I didn't do it. I did start to fill it out, but I didn't. I was overwhelmed.
We're gonna, yeah. Oh no, we'll talk about that later. But we'll polish your pitch at the end.
Okay.
So the second part of what I teach around how to pick the super niche is how to pick your sweet spot specialty. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about the fact that 70% of humans purchase based on pain, and only 30% purchase based on improving something. So all of our messaging, all of our positioning is based on solving the problem. And
absolutely.
So the message is about the problem, right? And then 3 ways to find out, right? One is you can go and ask the decision maker of the industry, is this a relevant pain point that I'm guessing, or what is the pain point? Yay! Oh, good for you. You're such a good student. Well, hey, go through it again on the 21st, and this time you can do it like a pro.
Yes.
And we're going to have a lot of hot seats where we're going to polish on the air. So, but I'm going to polish you now, but if you want to come back after, for sure. So the first way you ask about the pain is you just ask them, right? Horse's mouth kind of thing. The second is you Google it. Like you can literally Google industry problems 2020. And believe me, you can probably find out a lot, especially during COVID now. A lot of industries are in a lot of pain, but I want you to get very specific about the most expensive pain. And then you can ask.
Let's go for that one sec. So the most expensive pain. So that you really have to pull that out of the target market, right? Like emotionally expensive, financially expensive, or just top of mind? Like, is it taking up too much brain space for them to be able to get to move past it? Which pain?
That's an excellent question. So when it's B2B, it's money.
Okay.
It has to be actual money expensive. If it's B2C, it's emotional. Make sense?
Yes, and I'm happy I'm not in B2C. I'm not good with dealing with emotions. Okay.
No, exactly, because so emotional could go all the way to health, to death.
Yes.
Disease, right? And so with B2C clients, although I mainly do B2B, but like for example, I had a wealth advisor. I may have told you about this. And she literally couldn't get anyone to talk to her. She couldn't get new clients because money, this is very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't want to talk to strangers that they meet at a networking event about their finances because they're embarrassed or, they're ashamed or whatever. They're private. So imagine if you're a wealth advisor and you're trying to go after a certain target of, not
divorced
exactly
women or whatever they're looking for, right?
That's exactly what we did. We super niched her in divorcing women. And now what she was doing, and the number one problem we found, do you know what number one problem is for divorcing women around money?
They don't know. The ones that I found, they really don't know. Maybe they weren't managing those finances and they didn't know how deep they needed to dig in. And they also don't have a reality around, they want to keep the house, but they don't understand how much money it's really going to take to keep it. So they might not have a holistic understanding about
their finances.
Their finances.
So the number one fear, that was the symptom, what you're talking about. But the consequence of the fear was to lose the level of their lifestyle. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we focused on as the messaging is maintain your lifestyle after the divorce. And so we found out that there's 22 meetup groups for divorcing women in Toronto alone. So it was a very natural place for her to go and network. She herself had been divorced. She was remarried, but she gave, talks at these meetups. She gave talks at her church. And these women, before when she used to have to run after them, these women started running after her.
Yes.
So that's what this is about, is this sweet spot specialty pain is you either ask them, and when it's an industry, you go and you actually can talk to their suppliers, their other suppliers, and you can talk to their customers.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's a retail experience, you go and count shelves. So if they're a consumer good, you can literally tell by their market share just how many, and you can go to different types. Like you can go to a Costco, which is a warehouse type, versus a Walmart, versus like a Trader Joe's. So you can go to different kinds and count them. We used to do that with clients all the time. So what I want people to do, if you're listening to this, you guys, is I want you to write down 3 assumed pain points for that industry target that you did the scoring on. And then I want you to go and talk to at least one decision maker in that industry and then ask them which of the 3 is, if they had one last dollar to spend, what they would spend it on today. And believe me, it has changed. For a lot of them, it has changed. So that is the homework that we did for the second night. And then the third night, which I don't know if you got to, which is the fun part where we're going to polish your pitch, is the elevator pitch.
I wrote my little note, right? If you had to spend your last dollar, where would you spend it?
Oh my God. And did you come up with a pain point, or did you get that far?
Nope, that was my last note.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, hey, listen, your priority is making money, so I get it. But there's always going to be a chance for you to come back every month.
Absolutely, yes.
The niched elevator pitch formula is the target that you help, so who you help,
Mm-hmm.
the problem that you solve, plus how you help. Okay.
Yes, and those are the 3 things that I do when I rewrite my LinkedIn profiles for people.
Perfect.
And that's the headline formula I use for them. Who do you work with? What's the outcome of working with you, and what problem do you solve? So that's the framework, people, that we use when we do a LinkedIn headlines.
That's great. So now to enhance the effectiveness, here's a trick, and maybe you want to use this. Add a statistic of the pain and the result of working. So you already add the result. So add a stat for the pain. So here, let me give you an example and this is on the workbook, 3 out of 4 business owners never get asked for their information or a business meeting after they do their elevator pitch to their prospect, to their target client. And what I do is I fix what they're saying so that every time they open their mouth, they get an appointment. So that's the result, right? That they get an appointment every time. And the pain is they never get asked. And the stat is 3 out of 4, which is almost everyone.
Yes.
And what I do is I fix what they're saying. So let's craft your elevator pitch. So give me yours, and then I'll see if I can polish it. Maybe it's already perfect.
Well, I have the great example of my live show, right? Okay. That elevator pitch is that the art of inspired selling is where I bring 6- and 7-figure business owners on to deliver value so that B2B entrepreneurs can not just survive during this now normal or new normal, they actually can survive. So that's just the pitch of the show.
Okay. And so you do this to 6- and 7-figure business owners, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the number one most expensive problem 6- and 7-figure business owners have that the show solves?
It is, well, they're various, right? I'm focusing on helping them generate more revenue. So revenue is the biggest problem.
Okay. So how do you
leads and revenue, leads that they can then convert to revenue.
Okay. So how do you do that through the show?
Through the show, I do that by bringing people like you on that helps them pick up small nuggets of wisdom that they can employ in their business today to make a difference.
Okay. So if you could, and do I have your permission to polish?
Yes.
Okay. So if you could maybe put a statistic around how many 6- and 7-figure businesses don't have more leads because they're lacking information, right? Because that's the gap that you're filling is that information, right? But and top information by top paying, top experts in their field. Mm-hmm. So if there could be some, and even further, if there could be some metric, if you could do some sort of either informal survey about your listeners earning more than non-listeners. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because of the tips that you're giving, or because of the expertise that you're offering on the show.
Okay.
Does that sound more specific than what you have?
It sounds more specific in that, why would I listen to your show? Yeah, you're going to bring all these people that are, are going to talk, but really at the end of the day, what am I, right? We're doing this for the audience. What am I going to get out of it? Oh, you mean you have some proof that people listened to your show, employed it, and it made a difference and an impact. And as a result, they gained 5 new clients or $5,000. Wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Right.
Good. That is exactly what you want them to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you want. So that sounds pretty good to me. You can use that, as you said, in a LinkedIn profile or a descriptor of in a podcast kind of format, in a blurb in social media, and when you're introducing it, even right off the bat, I think.
Right.
Okay.
What's the biggest pain, and why are we trying to solve this pain?
Yeah, and how we solve it. What is the pain? Put a size to it with the stat, and then who you already have the who, and then what you do to solve it for what result.
Okay.
Right. So that's good. Now the part that I want to talk about is using your niche to land meetings, which is the most important part, right? And so where you would meet. And remember, in marketing, and this is true for marketing during COVID, after COVID, in person, out of person, is there's a 7 to 12 touch point that's required so that they convert into a client. And how do you touch them? Well, you can be as present as you want, but the way to maximize one-to-many is with your content, which is what you're doing so brilliantly. And the difference is that once you're super niched, you're constantly doing it in the world of that industry. And you have to make sure when you choose an industry that it actually has visibility channels, like some sort of LinkedIn group, like some sort of now online conferences or networking or training, or, you have to make sure that you can get in front of them. Now, social selling is amazing. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you have like teams of hordes of VAs just like messaging away, which I have a team in the Philippines that does that. And we message people on LinkedIn, and most of the time that's how I get clients. And I fill my entire calendar now post-COVID with introduction meetings, right? Connection meetings. So that is the secret now, is to be in front of them. Like, not only do they get a message from me, but now they see me in their stream. Then they see me live. Then they see, I send them something that is of value to them. We send content that is of value to them.
Yes. And that's part of our funnel. So that's what we do, is we build those funnels for our clients. So it starts with the connection. It starts with the video. I'm big into video strategy. It starts with the lead gen, whatever that's going to be. Whatever PDF or checklist or whatever it is. And then ultimately we want to, when it's right, get them on the phone or move the conversation from LinkedIn into email so that we can own that contact just in case there's something that changes. Like if, let's say that LinkedIn took away messaging tomorrow, boy, now what, right? Then you needed that content strategy to make sure that people know who you are, because now that's the only way to get their attention and to get into their inbox.
I'm curious, what do you think about Sales Navigator versus LinkedIn? Because I understand that if you discontinue the service with Sales Navigator, all of your messages disappear.
Yes, so I use an automation platform that maintains all of the messages, so we won't lose them, and we won't lose the conversations that we had. And also, I have an optimization expert that not just keeps it in the platform, but we also move it over into our own custom CRM. So we own the data in a Google database. So we make sure to have it duplicated and available with statistics of performance and how things are doing all the time. So we can always strive to be better with our messaging, to be better in the engagement.
Okay. Are you at liberty to say what the automation software is to capture all the DMs from Navigator and LinkedIn?
Yes, actually an affiliate. I don't have my affiliate code though. I should ask him.
No.
we use a platform called Skylead, and we've tried a few of them. Skylead. skylead.io.
Sky lead, like sky lead.
Yeah, let me put it in the chat, you guys, so you hear it. Skylead.io. And the reason I like this one is, as an agency, if I'm managing somebody's LinkedIn profile, I can open my dashboard and see everybody's LinkedIn profiles in one place. Mm-hmm. So then I can create tags of follow-up, not follow-up, what needs to happen. I can copy the message into a message to my client, and then they can follow up with it. So I can see everything in one command station.
That's wonderful. Wow, yeah. I love it. So this is such a new world to me, but what I do know is how to create the content, what the message has to be to get the attention. And so what I work with on clients, once we figure out the super niche, then we create content around the super niche to position the brand as an expert in that super niche alone. And then, that could go all the way from having a sub brand with its own landing page, mm-hmm. with its own lead magnets and all of that, to just having sort of almost like a silent launch where you just go and talk to your clients about it, and you have just a few private links to send them resources around the expertise for that problem. So, yes. But regardless of how you do it, it has to be 7 to 12 touches. So you have to focus on it for at least just a little bit of amount of time, at least until you provide enough or build up enough of a database of expertise, like content of expertise around it.
Yes. And so are you counting 7 to 12? Are you counting connection message 1, message 2, video checklist, whatever, third message? And then are you counting taking them into a nurturing sequence as touch points, like for 4 through 12?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's one to many or one to one. It doesn't matter if it's video or audio. It doesn't matter if it's text. The only thing that matters is the more live it is, of course, like a conversation or like what you and I are doing, the mm-hmm. stronger it is. It's just like it's much easier to close in person than it is on Zoom or on the phone, right? So it just prolongs it. And, these are averages. There's no actual, oh my God, he saw it 12 times and he didn't buy it. What am I doing? But,
well, that goes back to, if you will, the awareness spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. Are they unaware? Are they aware? Where are they? Not so much on the buyer's journey, but where are they on that awareness spectrum of completely unaware that they even had a problem and didn't know there was a solution, to 100% aware, high awareness that not only can you as a brand solve their problem, but now I have high intent to purchase, and I'm just negotiating right now the pricing or moving my budget around. So it really just depends. That's why you need all those touches, right? Because it depends on where that person is today, and you don't know when they're going to explode and understand, I got to work with her. Some of the most expensive decisions I've made to hire coaches were on something happened, right? And I'm like, where's her link? Where's that person's name again? And if they're not in your inbox, or if they're not, like you are in my Facebook chat, mm-hmm. if I don't have those people at my fingertips, then they won't be the ones that I choose, right? It's the ones when I'm having a hyperventilation moment that I need help now. I'm going to spend my money. Where's that person? So yeah, our clients need to be that person. They need to be there in front of them. Yeah. Consistently and professionally, and not spamming.
Exactly. And so I call that the centipede moment, because that's what I had, a centipede moment. And that's how I define a brand. Like, a brand is really a brand has done its job if it's able to carve itself into your brain. Mm-hmm. What happened when I was pregnant, or I had just given birth, was breastfeeding 2 a.m. in the morning. And in South Etobicoke, where I live, there's the centipede issue. And so there was a granddaddy of one when I went into the bathroom and flicked on the light, and a big giant one just ran over my foot. And you can imagine the first word that came to my mind, it was the name of a pest control company, right? And our pest control company sprays 4 times a year. and I hadn't called them. So the brand name the Orkin came to my mind, right? I was like, oh my God, I got to call Orkin. So that's what I want for my
That would have been my second word. I think there might have been some profanities.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody jokes about that, but you know what I mean. So that's what I want for you. Is I know that your brand is established in that niche. If when the client is in pain, your name is the first thing that pops up. I mean, you've heard of businesses that have gone out of business or that have changed phones and they're still getting calls. People have died and they're still getting calls. That's because they're carved into somebody's mind as being an answer to that pain.
Yes.
Right. And so that's what true branding is when we can establish that in your mind. And that's what it takes 7 to 12 times of being everywhere in their world, which is why I want you to pick a very specific world, because I want you to be everywhere in their world.
Yes. Yes. Yes for me. Yes for you. People, listen.
All in great agreement. So that's really all I have to teach today is all about the super niche.
Okay, that's fabulous. So, and we have this wonderful. Now, you guys go at least get the workbook, right? It's got so much information. We'll have Chala's name here, so you know how to find her. But I love these tips, right? You say steps to connect, join events they go to. How do I find my people? Join events they go to, meetups, right? Eventbrites. Facebook events, LinkedIn groups, LinkedIn chats. Follow where these people are. Connect on LinkedIn and email. Definitely look for their email address. First, establish a relationship. That's number 5 on my methodology. Elevator pitches. Don't mess up. And it's okay if you do, because you know what? You're going to get another chance. And then offer to give more free advice on a quick Zoom call, which is when I have these intake calls to see if people are a good fit for my live show. I look at my zone of genius, right? I look at their LinkedIn profile. And that's an opportunity for me to say, hey, listen, you don't have a banner. You don't have a call to action. Your LinkedIn profile looks like your resume. When was the last time you updated it? Have you thought about adding media to your, oh, I can do that. Oh yeah, I haven't done that. Oh my goodness. I'm looking for somebody to help me with that. Right. So I'm literally giving them ideas and they can't write fast enough. So we always need to be providing that value. And I appreciate that you are in that same mindset to come on the show and to add value to my audience. So tell me, when is the next elevator pitch boot camp?
It's on the 21st. I don't know if you want to write that down, but it's on the 21st and you can register and then you'll get that workbook that we're talking about at repositioner.com, which is my website, repositioner.com/bootcamp.
Let me get there, repositioner.com, and then let me go to /bootcamp, and then I will put it in the comments so it will be there for everybody.
Yeah, and it's actually 9 days, so you didn't stick around, but maybe this time you will. So it's 5 days of training with 4 days of bonuses, and then you have live guests, and we have hot seats. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
It's /bootcamp, but you've gone to the actual URL. Okay, so it's the short is repositioner.com/bootcamp. Yeah.
Okay.
But that goes there, yeah.
So let's talk. We're done. We've thank you guys so much for joining us late and for being a part of this great conversation. Let's talk 1 second about your funnel and about your ability, because you've done such a great job of closing people, right, and building your business and pivoting and where you're doing. So you get people in this workshop and you deliver immense amount of value, right? You've got support staff. Trust me, I know. You've got people responding to comments and VAs here and all that. You get them on your boot camp. Mm-hmm. And so does the cream rise to the top? They just say, you know what? I'm overwhelmed. This is enough. I can't do it by myself. I want you to do it. Which people? I know there's always those DIYers that.
Yeah. And
because you still provided value to them, right? You gave them enough value to do it for themselves, and they'll say, hey, I know you should go be in this boot camp, right? Which is what I did. I sent some people to it. So, and what are the other revenue generating things that come out of such a immense boot camp? Because there's a lot of time that you do for this.
It's really great. But the thing is, it's rinse and repeat, because once you do it every month, you become so comfortable and you improve things. I mean, this is going to be our second time. We've learned so much, Catherine. Oh my God. And now what's happening is that I'm closing sales between launches, because the social selling team are so invigorating my LinkedIn people, like my connections, but just by reaching out, that if they've seen the boot camp and like you remember getting some value from it and are now ready. That's the whole thing, right? You have to constantly be in front of their face and in conversations with them, and you can't possibly do it on your own. That's why you need the social selling agency or somebody to help you continue to do it, because what you need to be doing is you need to be actually closing sales on those calls, and they have to be setting it up for you.
Yes, yes, I have to be the CEO of the company. Absolutely. I have online business manager. I have an assistant. I have VAs in the Philippines as well. I have a VA in Pakistan. I have a video editor in Colombia. I have my partner now in Latin America. I just hired another person that's going to manage profiles. I mean, you cannot do it all yourself.
No way. I mean, I wouldn't even try, but it was such it's really hard to find the right partners too. So that was a little bit of a struggle too, but I'm so happy with the results on this one. And once you find someone and you fall in love, like hopefully it's going to be a marriage for good, right? And I'm talking partners. I'm talking about real marriage, but I'm talking about partners as well.
I do have a relationship coach to the stars that's coming on the show. You'll have to be a part of that one. Are you single?
Yes,
are you single? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Single women ready to mingle right here. This is an I love myself ring. Yes.
Oh, really?
So,
perfect. Are you single, Catherine?
Yes, I am. I'm single.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. That's why you're bringing her on. Let's see what she has to tell us.
Yes, she's really interesting. And we're going to go on to do a webinar together for women to learn about all the different areas. And she brings a little bit of hypnosis in as well to help you understand your inner child. I'm super into that. We'll have to have another conversation. But now I'm sidetracked. I start talking about love and like I'm all flustered.
I know. Yeah. How funny. We were talking about partners and
partners.
Hard
yes.
to find the right partner.
So B2B entrepreneurs, listen. It's hard to find the right person immediately, but you also have to learn how to delegate and let it go. You have to let your team make mistakes. Maybe they made a grammar mistake. Maybe they didn't meet a deadline. It depends on how hard-nosed you are, but those people have to grow with you, right? Your team grows with you, and you have to, I have people that say, I want to work with you, right? It's just like a lead magnet. Be who you are, be authentic, and be forgiving. Because I've seen some hard-nosed people. I've worked for them in corporate America, and it sucks. And I don't want to be that person, right? So to your point, it just takes a little bit of time to find the right person, but also be able to like fire them if it's not working.
Yeah, they'd say, fire. What is it? Hire slow, fire fast.
Yes.
That's the motto.
For sure. Kiss a lot of frogs and work and love. All right. So I will let you go, Chala. Thank you so much for being here. You're coming live from Toronto?
Yes, I am. And thanks for having me. This was a blast. So sorry for the delay.
That's okay. It was worth it. Everybody's going to love it. They're going to reply. We're going to reposition the show. So you guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much. We are now adding to our email campaign, past episodes, future episodes, what's going on now. We're learning and we're growing. Once again, if there's a subject you need to learn, if there's something that we're not delivering, to let me know, because this show is for you. This show is for you to actually thrive in the new normal. So stay put for just 1 second, Chala. We'll get back to you, and you guys just have a fabulous rest of the week.